Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be sharing with you a couple of reports. So the first one will be the Prestige report. Now this is regarding the luxury segment of our residential properties as well as our landed market. Right, so first up, the Prestige report. Right, luxury non-landed homes saw some steady demand from buyers for our second quarter of 2024. It is estimated that 57 non-landed luxury homes changed hands in the second quarter. Right now, this is 7.5% higher than the previous quarter. It is also worth noting that the activities in these luxury non-landed homes have increased, almost back to the pre-cooling measures days. The ultra-high net worth individuals are gradually returning back to Singapore. So the total value of the luxury non-landed homes sold in second quarter of 2024 was $482.5 million, and this is 26.2% higher than the first quarter, which was $382.4 million. I'm going to pull up a table right now for you to see how the market has performed from first quarter of 2020 all the way to second quarter of 2024. So what are the projects that contributes to these units that are sold in the second quarter? I'm going to pull up a table later, but the first one will be Skywaters Residences. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. There's so much hype around the project itself. Then there's also 32 Gilstead, St. Regis Residences, The Mark on Patterson Hill, 3 Orchard by the Park, Ardmore Park and Wharton House. Right, so based on the caveat, the most expensive luxury non-landed homes in this whole list is Skywaters Residences. All right, this is a 7761 square feet unit, and based on the caveat lodge, this was bought by a foreigner whose nationality is unspecified. All right, so first up on the list, Skywaters Residences, then there's 32 Gilstead, all the way down to Wharton House. PSF, you can see, ranging all the way up to 6100 PSF. And that is for the luxury non-landed market. So now let's talk about GCBs. Right, so GCB market stirred back to life in the second quarter of 2024. There's a total of 8 transactions happening. And this is an increase from the first quarter of 5 units. So that is about 13 transactions that happened in the first half of 2024, which is similar to last year. Where are these GCBs located at? First up on the list will be Bintong Park, and that is transacted at $84 million. Land size about 28111 square feet. This was said to be bought by a daughter of a China-born steel and nickel magnate. So second on the list you can see is Jervois Hill, and it transacted at $58 million. Size of land is about 15094 square feet. And it's said to be acquired by a grandson related to one of the largest conglomerates in Indonesia. And the third one, Gallop Road, was reported to be bought by the wife of a founder of a technology company. You can see it's transacted at $42.5 million. Size of land is about 16,000 square feet, translating to a PSF of 2544 PSF. Right, so let's talk about the rental. Right, despite a quarter-on-quarter increase of 12.5% in the number of rental transactions, second quarter from first quarter, rent of luxury non-landed homes, you can see in the table, it's more or less flat. And while the demand has picked up, tenants are definitely more cautious because of the economic climate. So that is for the luxury non-landed homes. And for GCBs, most of the rentals are below 30,000 in second quarter. The top rental deals will be this one at 12.5 to 13,000 square feet GCB in Queen Astrid Park, which was rented for $75,000. The outlook for GCBs and non-landed luxury markets, you may see some headwinds in the near future, and this is also mainly due to the increased checks of the source of funds for these ultra-high net worth individuals coming into Singapore. Some of them might be even thinking of going into Hong Kong or Dubai due to the ABSD of 60% in Singapore. They will definitely be looking at places where they can place their funds with lesser taxes. GCB market may see continued increase of transactions or activities due to the narrowing price expectations of sellers and buyers. So let's move on to our landed updates. Transactions of landed homes in the second quarter actually jumped by 45.8% to 430. The first quarter was 295 transactions. Again, for landed market, there's a narrowing of the price expectations between buyers and sellers. Buyers are deeming the selling price to be more acceptable, and that's why they are buying. The biggest increase in the transacted volume was in the semi-detached home segments. The number of semi-detached homes sold in second quarter went up by 60% to 136 from 85 in the first quarter of 2024 and 81.3% higher year on year. Prices of semi-detached eased by 1.9% quarter on quarter, second quarter of 2024 to 1776 PSF on land from 1811 PSF on land in first quarter of 2024, which resulted in more transactions of semi-detached homes. But then again, it's very difficult to put a figure to it because the landed homes market is very different and dynamic. There are houses that are new builds, and there are also the older houses which will lead to a complete tear down and rebuild. So the PSF that you are looking at in these ranges of houses are way different. So it's not easy to put a figure just like that, right? It might not be the most accurate performance indicator of the market. On the back of more transactions, the total value of landed homes changing hands in 2024 for second half was $2.3 billion, which is 46.4% higher than the first quarter. Year on year, that's an increase of 54%. Right, so first half of 2024, there were 725 landed home deals, which is 28.5% higher than the same period last year in 2023. The total value of transaction in first half of 2024 was $3.9 billion, which is 18.5% higher than first half of 2023, which was $3.3 billion. Right, you can see that in this table. The most popular districts for landed buyers are 10, 15, 16, 19, and 28. Right, the usual players. The quantum for these homes, which are at 99-year leasehold, range from $0.5 million to $6 million, while for 999 leasehold and freehold, the quantum is between $2.2 million and $32.5 million. So if you are wondering, where would you get this $0.5 million landed home? That one is at Jalan Cempaka Kuning. And for a good reason, the lease is actually running out. And that's why the owners can't really sell that for a lot of money. It has a less than 10 years remaining lease. So if you know where Jalan Cempaka Kuning is, that will be at Simpang Bedok area where a lot of people go for supper. So the most expensive landed homes, as mentioned just now, which is $32.5 million, that will be at Jalan Tupai. It's a freehold detached home. So a very healthy range of transactions happening all around Singapore. The bulk of landed home transactions are in the 999 leasehold as well as the freehold tenure. So the average price for terrace homes in the 999 and freehold tenures is around $4.2 million. Semi-detached home is around $6.6 million and detached is $12.5 million. The pace of growth in the landed market continued to decelerate. Of course, it has been increasing quite fast over the years. It rose by 1.9% in second quarter of 2024. That's a 0.7 percentage point lower than the previous quarter. We are more or less seeing a stabilization in the pricing. But then again, it also depends on the kind of house that you're buying. Like I mentioned earlier, it could be an old house that you're buying for a complete teardown rebuild, or a house to do your A&A, or a brand new house from developers or even owners. So the market outlook for the landed segment, we are talking about a more stable market, and prices should trend towards stabilization and not see a gain of more than 6% in this year itself. So if you have any questions about the luxury market as well as the landed market, you can always reach out to me. Just drop me a DM in my number of any one of my social media accounts. I'll see you again in the next video.